In 1977, NASA launched the Voyager Golden Records into deep space, broadcasting Earth's location and detailed information about human civilization to anyone listening. For 47 years, we've been waiting for a response. We've built massive radio telescope arrays, scanned millions of star systems, and spent billions searching for signs of intelligent life beyond Earth. The silence has been deafening. But what if that silence isn't absence? What if advanced civilizations know exactly where we are and have been watching us for millennia, yet deliberately choose not to make contact? Recent discoveries suggest that Earth may be protected by something far more sophisticated than distance or probability. Something is keeping advanced civilizations away from our planet, and the evidence suggests this protective barrier may have been deliberately constructed millions of years ago. Prepare yourselves. We begin. Chair music. The Fermi paradox has haunted scientists since physicist Enrico Fermi asked his famous question during a 1950 lunch discussion: where is everybody? The mathematics seems simple and devastating. Our galaxy contains approximately 400 billion stars. Conservative estimates suggest that billions of these stars host potentially habitable planets. Even if intelligent life is extraordinarily rare, the sheer number of opportunities means our galaxy should be teeming with advanced civilizations. And yet we detect nothing. No radio signals, no megastructures, no evidence of stellar engineering or interstellar commerce. The observable universe appears silent and empty, despite conditions that should produce abundant technological civilizations. This absence seems statistically impossible, unless some fundamental factor prevents civilizations from expanding, communicating, or surviving long enough to make their presence known. Traditional solutions to the Fermi paradox invoke various filters and barriers. Perhaps intelligent life is extremely rare. Perhaps technological civilizations invariably destroy themselves before achieving interstellar capability. Perhaps the distances between stars create insurmountable obstacles to communication and travel. Each explanation attempts to resolve the paradox through statistical or physical limitations. But recent evidence suggests an entirely different explanation. Advanced civilizations may know about Earth and deliberately avoid contact, not because they cannot reach us, but because something prevents them from approaching. The evidence for this protective barrier appears in unexpected places throughout Earth's geological record, our solar system's architecture, and the mysterious behavior of objects we've long dismissed as natural phenomena. The first clues emerge from examining Earth's remarkably stable orbital environment. Our planet occupies what astronomers call the Goldilocks zone around our star, where temperatures permit liquid water to exist on the surface. This habitable zone represents a narrow band where planetary conditions support complex life. Earth's position within this zone appears almost precisely optimized for biological evolution. But Earth's orbital stability extends far beyond simple distance from the Sun. Our planet maintains nearly circular orbit with minimal eccentricity, ensuring consistent solar radiation throughout the year. The axial tilt remains stable at approximately 23.5 degrees, locked in place by the gravitational influence of our unusually large moon. This stability prevents the dramatic climate variations that would make technological civilization nearly impossible to develop. The moon itself presents the first major anomaly. Planetary formation models struggle to explain how Earth acquired a satellite so disproportionately large relative to the planet's size. The leading theory invokes a massive collision between proto-Earth and a Mars-sized object called Theia, approximately 4.5 billion years ago. The impact supposedly ejected material that coalesced into the moon. However, detailed analysis of lunar samples reveals isotopic compositions that challenge this impact hypothesis. The moon's chemical signature matches Earth's composition far more precisely than collision dynamics should produce. Material ejected by such an impact should show distinct chemical differences from the parent planet. Yet lunar rocks are nearly identical to terrestrial samples in ways that seem statistically impossible for random collision debris. Advanced modeling of the Theia impact reveals additional problems. The collision parameters required to produce the moon's current orbital characteristics fall within an extraordinarily narrow range. The impact angle, velocity, and masses involved must align with remarkable precision to create our moon's specific orbit and stabilizing influence. The probability of such a precisely calibrated collision occurring naturally approaches the vanishingly small. Some planetary scientists have begun suggesting that the moon's formation may not have been entirely accidental. The satellite's size, composition, and orbital parameters appear optimized for supporting the development of intelligent life on Earth. The moon stabilizes Earth's axial tilt, creates tidal forces that may have facilitated the transition of life from ocean to land, and provides a natural laboratory for early civilizations to develop spaceflight capabilities. But the moon represents only the first layer of Earth's protective architecture. Jupiter, the solar system's largest planet, occupies a position that shields inner planets from catastrophic asteroid impacts. Jupiter's massive gravitational field acts as a cosmic vacuum cleaner, capturing or deflecting countless asteroids and comets that would otherwise bombard Earth with civilization-ending impacts. Jupiter's protective role appears too beneficial to result from chance. The planet's mass, orbital distance, and position relative to the asteroid belt create optimal conditions for defending Earth from cosmic bombardment while avoiding gravitational perturbations that could destabilize inter-planet orbits. This configuration represents one specific arrangement among countless possibilities, yet it happens to be precisely the arrangement that maximizes Earth's long-term habitability. Recent surveys of exoplanetary systems reveal that Jupiter-like planets rarely occupy positions similar to our Jupiter's orbit. Most gas giants discovered around other stars follow highly eccentric orbits, or orbit extremely close to their parent stars as hot Jupiters. These configurations would prevent Earth-like planets from maintaining stable orbits suitable for biological evolution. Our solar system's architecture appears unusual, possibly unique among surveyed planetary systems. The asteroid belt itself presents additional mysteries. This region between Mars and Jupiter contains millions of rocky objects that never coalesced into a planet. Traditional models attribute the asteroid belt's existence to Jupiter's gravitational influence, preventing planetary formation in this region. However, the belt's composition and structure show characteristics that challenge purely natural explanations. Spectroscopic analysis of asteroid compositions reveals unusual distributions of rare metals and isotopes that don't match predictions from solar system formation models. Some asteroids contain concentrations of platinum group elements, orders of magnitude higher than should exist in naturally formed bodies. These metal-rich asteroids appear positioned in orbits that make them remarkably accessible to spacecraft launched from Earth. Deep space missions to asteroids have discovered surface features that defy natural explanation. The asteroid Bennu, visited by NASA's OSIRIS-REx mission, displays geometric patterns in its boulder distributions and unusual reflectivity variations that some researchers suggest might indicate artificial modification. While mission scientists attribute these features to natural processes, the patterns show regularities that seem statistically improbable. The asteroid Ryugu, explored by Japan's Hayabusa 2 mission, revealed even more puzzling characteristics. Surface samples returned to Earth contained organic molecules with chirality ratios that differ from what natural chemistry should produce. The molecules show evidence of possible synthetic production using techniques that wouldn't be developed by humans for decades after the samples formed. But the most compelling evidence for artificial solar system architecture comes from objects in the outer solar system that demonstrate behavior inconsistent with natural gravitational dynamics. The Kuiper Belt, a region beyond Neptune containing thousands of icy bodies, shows structural patterns that suggest deliberate organization rather than random distribution. Kuiper Belt objects cluster into orbital families with resonances that appear too precise to result from chaotic gravitational interactions. The clustering suggests that something organized these objects into stable configurations that minimize collision risks and maintain long-term orbital stability. Natural processes typically produce more random distributions rather than the organized patterns observed in the Kuiper Belt. In 2017, astronomers detected an object passing through the inner solar system on a hyperbolic trajectory that indicated it originated from interstellar space. Designated Oumuamua, this visitor displayed characteristics that challenged conventional understanding of natural celestial objects. The object's elongated shape, unusual tumbling motion, and mysterious acceleration as it departed the solar system sparked intense scientific debate. Oumuamua's acceleration could not be explained by outgassing like a comet, as the object showed no visible coma or tail. The acceleration appeared consistent with solar radiation pressure, but the object's estimated mass and size made this explanation problematic. Some scientists propose that Oumuamua might be an artificial object, possibly a solar sail or probe from another civilization. Follow-up observations revealed that Oumuamua's trajectory brought it remarkably close to Earth's orbit, with timing that seemed suspiciously convenient. The object arrived in our solar system, performed what appeared to be a close observation pass of Earth, then accelerated back toward interstellar space. The trajectory resembles what mission planners would design for a reconnaissance probe rather than a random interstellar object. Additional interstellar visitors have been detected since Oumuamua, and each shows peculiar characteristics that complicate natural explanations. Comet 2 I/Borisov, discovered in 2019, displayed chemical compositions that differed from solar system comets in ways suggesting it formed under different conditions. The comet's trajectory and timing, like Oumuamua, showed remarkable precision in approaching Earth's orbital region. The frequency of these interstellar visitors appears higher than mathematical models predict. Statistical analysis suggests we should detect interstellar objects rarely, perhaps once per decade or less. Yet multiple objects have been observed within just a few years, implying either our models dramatically underestimate interstellar object populations, or these visitors are not random travelers but targeted missions. Say, deep space tracking systems operated by military and civilian agencies detect thousands of objects in near-Earth space. The majority are cataloged satellites, rocket stages, and space debris from human activities. However, a small percentage of tracked objects display orbital characteristics and behavior that remain classified or unexplained. These anomalous objects maintain orbits that suggest active propulsion and maneuvering capabilities. Some of these mysterious objects occupy unusual orbital positions that provide optimal observation vantage points for monitoring Earth. The orbits are gravitationally stable, requiring no fuel to maintain, yet positioned to maximize coverage of Earth's surface. The objects appear to have been placed deliberately, rather than arriving through natural capture or human launch. Electromagnetic monitoring of near-Earth space detects intermittent signals that don't match any known human or natural sources. The signals show complex modulation patterns, consistent with data transmission using advanced communication protocols. The transmissions appear directed towards specific points in deep space, suggesting these mysterious objects are reporting observations to distant recipients. Advanced telescope surveys have identified objects in solar orbit that exhibit anomalous reflectivity patterns. These objects alternately brighten and dim in sequences that don't match rotation of natural bodies. The brightness variations follow patterns that some analysts suggest might encode information, possibly serving as navigational beacons or communication relays for interstellar traffic. The solar system's protective architecture extends beyond planetary positions and mysterious objects to include active defense systems that appear designed to intercept or deflect potential threats. Satellite observations have documented instances where asteroids on collision courses with Earth mysteriously alter trajectories through mechanisms that cannot be explained by known natural forces. In 2013, a meteor exploded over Chelyabinsk, Russia, with energy equivalent to approximately 500 kilotons of TNT. The airburst injured over 1,500 people and damaged thousands of buildings. Analysis of the meteor's trajectory revealed that it had been deflected from its original path by gravitational interactions that reduced the impact's severity. The deflection timing and magnitude seemed remarkably fortunate, preventing the meteor from striking a populated area directly. Subsequent analysis of the Chelyabinsk meteor's trajectory revealed additional anomalies. Radar tracking data showed brief electromagnetic signatures consistent with directed energy discharge moments before the meteor's fragmentation. The signatures resembled what might be produced by high-power laser or particle beam systems, though no known human technology could generate such effects at the observed altitude and energy levels. Military tracking systems monitor near-Earth space for missile launches and potential threats. Occasionally, these systems detect high-energy events in the upper atmosphere or near-Earth space that don't correspond to any known human activities or natural phenomena. The events show energy signatures consistent with directed energy weapons, intercepting and destroying small asteroids or space debris before they can reach Earth's surface. Some of these mysterious defensive interventions appear to target objects that pose minimal threat to human civilization. Even small asteroids that would burn up harmlessly in the atmosphere sometimes show evidence of artificial deflection or destruction. This pattern suggests that whatever system is protecting Earth operates according to protocols that prioritize complete elimination of any potential threat rather than allowing natural atmospheric protection to function. The defensive system appears to have been operating for far longer than human technological civilization has existed. Geological records contain evidence of asteroid deflection events throughout Earth's history, including periods long before humans developed spaceflight capabilities. Impact crater distributions show statistical anomalies, suggesting that fewer large asteroids have struck Earth than probability would predict. Analysis of impact crater chronology reveals periodic gaps where expected impacts simply didn't occur. These gaps correlate with critical periods in biological evolution when major asteroid strikes would have prevented the development of complex life. The pattern suggests active intervention to protect Earth's biosphere during vulnerable evolutionary stages. Ocean floor surveys have discovered impact craters from asteroids that struck Earth millions of years ago. Detailed analysis of these craters reveals that many impacts occurred at angles and velocities that minimize damage compared to direct vertical strikes. The impact geometries appear statistically biased toward glancing blows that reduce destructive effects, suggesting possible trajectory modifications immediately before impact. Some ancient impact sites show evidence of pre-impact fragmentation that reduced asteroid size before atmospheric entry. The fragmentation patterns don't match natural stress fractures or tidal disruption. Instead, they show characteristics consistent with explosive or directed energy weapons being used to break asteroids into smaller, less dangerous pieces. But the protective systems extend beyond simple asteroid defense to include more sophisticated interventions in Earth's atmospheric and geological processes. Climate records reveal multiple instances where runaway greenhouse effects or snowball Earth scenarios were mysteriously arrested before reaching points of no return that would have extinguished complex life. The Paleocene-Eocene thermal maximum, a period of rapid warming approximately 56 million years ago, saw global temperatures increase by 5 to 8 degrees Celsius over just a few thousand years. And this warming should have triggered positive feedback loops that would continue driving temperatures higher until Earth became uninhabitable for most life forms. Instead, the warming mysteriously stabilized and reversed through mechanisms that climate models struggle to explain. Ice core samples from this period contain atmospheric gas ratios that suggest artificial intervention in the carbon cycle. The gas compositions show evidence of massive atmospheric processing that removed greenhouse gases at rates exceeding anything natural biology or geology could accomplish. The processing appears to have been precisely calibrated to prevent runaway warming while maintaining temperatures suitable for biological evolution. Similar intervention signatures appear during the Ordovician glaciation events, approximately 450 million years ago, when Earth faced the opposite threat of runaway cooling into a permanent snowball state. Atmospheric samples from this period show evidence of greenhouse gas injections that prevented complete glaciation while allowing ice ages to proceed at rates that drove evolutionary adaptation without causing mass extinction. These climate interventions required understanding of Earth's atmospheric and oceanic systems, far exceeding current human knowledge. The interventions demonstrate capabilities for planetary-scale engineering that could maintain optimal conditions for biological evolution across millions of years, while Earth's natural systems fluctuated through cycles that should have destroyed complex life multiple times. Geological evidence suggests that volcanic activity has also been artificially managed to prevent catastrophic eruptions that would threaten global biosphere stability. Supervolcano systems like Yellowstone show evidence of pressure relief mechanisms that don't match natural geological processes. Magma chambers that should have erupted catastrophically instead show patterns of controlled degassing that prevented explosive eruptions. The deep drilling projects into volcanic systems have discovered artificial structures in magma chambers that appear designed for pressure monitoring and control. These structures are made from materials that remain stable at temperatures exceeding 1,000 degrees Celsius and show evidence of active sensing and pressure regulation capabilities. The structures appear to have been operating for millions of years, preventing volcanic catastrophes that would have ended technological civilization before it could develop. Seismic monitoring networks detect unusual signals from deep within Earth's mantle that don't correspond to any known natural geological processes. The signals show regularities suggesting coordinated activity across multiple locations simultaneously. Now, the patterns resemble what might be expected from a planet-wide network of geological management systems, maintaining optimal conditions for surface habitability. The protective systems extend beyond Earth's atmosphere and geology to include magnetic field management. Earth's magnetic field shields the surface from harmful solar radiation and cosmic rays that would otherwise sterilize the planet. However, geological records show that this magnetic field has weakened and reversed polarity multiple times throughout Earth's history. These reversals should have exposed the surface to radiation levels that would cause mass extinctions. Yet mass extinctions don't consistently correlate with magnetic field reversals. Most reversals occur without corresponding biological catastrophes, suggesting that something protects Earth's biosphere even when the natural magnetic field weakens. Satellite measurements have detected artificial magnetic field generation systems, positioned at strategic locations around Earth that appear to provide backup protection during natural field reversals. These artificial field generators operate through mechanisms that exceed current human understanding of electromagnetic physics. The generators produce coherent magnetic fields that extend thousands of kilometers while consuming no apparent external power source. The technology suggests that whoever created these protection systems achieved fundamental breakthroughs in physics that allowed them to manipulate magnetic fields with unprecedented efficiency. Recent space missions have discovered similar protective technologies operating throughout the solar system. Magnetic anomalies detected around Mars, Venus, and several moons of Jupiter and Saturn show characteristics consistent with artificial field generation, rather than natural planetary magnetism. These protective fields appear designed to create habitable zones or protect resources valuable for spacefaring civilizations. The cumulative evidence points to a conclusion that challenges our fundamental understanding of human history and cosmic isolation. Earth appears to be surrounded by multiple layers of protective technologies that shield our planet from cosmic threats while monitoring our development toward technological maturity. These systems suggest that advanced civilizations are not only aware of Earth, but have been actively protecting our planet for millions of years. But why would advanced civilizations invest such enormous resources in protecting a relatively primitive world like Earth? What makes our planet worth protecting with technologies that dwarf anything human civilization has achieved? And the answer may lie in discoveries that reveal Earth's true significance within a cosmic context we are only beginning to comprehend. Deep space astronomical surveys have identified unusual patterns in the distribution of potentially habitable planets throughout our galaxy. Earth-like worlds don't distribute randomly as stellar formation models predict. Instead, they cluster in specific galactic regions and show orbital characteristics that appear optimized for supporting biological evolution. The clustering suggests possible artificial selection or engineering of planetary systems to maximize habitability. Our solar system occupies a position within the Milky Way that appears uniquely suited for hosting technological civilization. The Sun orbits in the galaxy's habitable zone, avoiding both the radiation-intense galactic core and the low-metallicity galactic halo. This optimal positioning provides stable conditions suitable for billions of years of biological evolution, without disruption from nearby supernova or stellar collisions. Earth's position within this galactic habitable zone represents one specific location among billions of possibilities. Yet our planet occupies precisely the region where cosmic ray exposure, supernova risks, and gravitational perturbations all minimize to create the most stable possible environment for complex life. This positioning appears too beneficial to result from random chance alone. Statistical analysis of exoplanet discoveries reveals that planetary systems like ours are extraordinarily rare. Most systems contain configurations that would prevent Earth-like planets from maintaining stable habitable orbits. Hot Jupiters, eccentric orbits, and dynamical instabilities characterize the majority of surveyed systems. Our solar system's architecture represents an extreme outlier in the galactic population. This statistical rarity suggests that Earth-like conditions arise naturally only under very specific circumstances. However, it also raises the possibility that some planetary systems, including ours, may have been deliberately engineered to optimize habitability, and advanced civilizations with sufficient technological capabilities could modify stellar systems to create ideal conditions for biological evolution and technological development. Evidence for such stellar engineering appears in the Sun's unusual stability and metal-rich composition. Our star shows remarkably consistent energy output, with minimal variation compared to similar stars in our galactic neighborhood. As this stability provides the consistent conditions necessary for complex biological evolution to proceed without disruption from stellar flares or luminosity variations. The Sun's metallicity, its abundance of elements heavier than hydrogen and helium, exceeds what stellar formation models predict for a star of its age and galactic position. This metal enrichment may have been artificially enhanced to ensure that planets forming around the Sun would contain sufficient heavy elements to support technological civilization. Rocky planets rich in metals provide the raw materials necessary for industry and advanced technology. Spectroscopic analysis of the Sun's outer layers reveals isotope ratios that don't perfectly match predictions from nucleosynthesis models. The ratios suggest that the Sun's material may have been supplemented with processed matter from previous stellar generations, in proportions optimized for creating habitable planetary systems. Natural stellar formation typically produces more random isotope distributions. The Sun's position within a sparsely populated region of the galaxy provides additional benefits for technological development. Our stellar neighborhood contains relatively few nearby stars, reducing the risks of gravitational perturbations that could destabilize planetary orbits. This isolation also provides ideal conditions for radio astronomy and the detection of interstellar signals without interference from nearby stellar sources. Deep space surveys using gravitational wave detectors have identified anomalous signals that don't match any known natural sources. These signals show characteristics consistent with massive engineering projects operating on stellar scales. The signals appear to originate from regions containing Sun-like stars with planetary systems, suggesting that stellar engineering may be widespread among advanced civilizations. Some of these gravitational wave signals show patterns suggesting matter manipulation on scales that exceed anything current physics predicts should be possible. The signals indicate technologies capable of moving or restructuring stellar mass objects with precision that implies fundamental breakthroughs in gravity control and energy generation. These capabilities would allow civilizations to engineer entire solar systems according to desired specifications. Recent discoveries in quantum physics provide theoretical frameworks for technologies that could manipulate space-time geometry and gravitational fields. These frameworks suggest that sufficiently advanced civilizations could indeed achieve the stellar engineering capabilities that observational evidence indicates. The physics exists to support the conclusion that our solar system may have been deliberately optimized for habitability. But stellar engineering represents only one aspect of the cosmic infrastructure that appears designed to protect and nurture developing civilizations. Evidence suggests that Earth may be part of a galactic network of protected worlds, where primitive civilizations are shielded from interference while they develop toward technological maturity. Radio telescope surveys have detected regular patterns of signal traffic between star systems throughout our galactic region. The signals use frequencies and modulation schemes that clearly indicate artificial origin. However, these communications appear deliberately restricted to avoid overlap with the radio frequencies that developing civilizations like humanity are most likely to monitor during early CD programs. The radio traffic patterns suggest an interstellar communication network that has been designed to remain invisible to primitive civilizations while operating openly once societies achieve sufficient technological sophistication. The network appears to include protocols for avoiding contamination or premature contact with developing worlds. Earth sits within range of this network, but appears deliberately excluded from participation. Analysis of the communication patterns reveals that the network includes hundreds of star systems within several hundred light-years of Earth. The systems show regular signal exchanges that suggest coordinated activities and information sharing among multiple civilizations. The network appears to have been operating for millions of years, maintaining contact among societies separated by vast interstellar distances. Some signals in this network appear directed specifically toward our solar system, though not toward Earth itself. The signals target positions in the outer solar system, where monitoring stations and relay satellites could receive transmissions without detection by Earth-based receivers. The communication protocols suggest that advanced civilizations are monitoring Earth's development while carefully avoiding direct contact that might interfere with natural cultural evolution. Deep space imaging has identified artificial structures around several nearby stars that participate in this interstellar network. The structures show characteristics of massive construction projects designed for energy collection, resource processing, or habitation. Hey, these megastructures represent technologies that exceed human capabilities by margins that make our current achievements appear primitive. The distribution of these megastructures reveals interesting patterns. They cluster in regions of the galaxy that provide optimal access to resources, while maintaining distances from developing civilizations like Earth. The spacing suggests deliberate protocols for avoiding interference with protected worlds, while maximizing efficiency of resource utilization and communication. Some star systems show evidence of complete Dyson sphere construction, structures that completely surround stars to capture their entire energy output. These systems demonstrate civilizations that have achieved Kardashev Type II status, capable of harnessing the full power of their parent stars. The existence of such civilizations within our galactic neighborhood indicates that advanced societies routinely achieve capabilities far exceeding current human technology. Yet despite their proximity and capabilities, these advanced civilizations have not made open contact with Earth. This absence cannot result from inability or ignorance. The evidence clearly shows that multiple civilizations possess the technology to reach Earth and are aware of our existence. Hey, their choice not to make contact must be deliberate and based on protocols designed to protect developing civilizations. The protection protocols appear based on what researchers call the zoo hypothesis, the idea that Earth is being preserved as a protected reserve where human civilization can develop naturally without interference from advanced societies. This hypothesis explains both the Fermi paradox and the evidence for protective systems surrounding our planet. Historical analysis reveals that the zoo hypothesis protocols may have been violated occasionally, producing the anomalous encounters that constitute the UFO phenomenon. Thousands of credible reports from military personnel, commercial pilots, and civilian witnesses describe objects demonstrating flight characteristics that exceed known human technology. These encounters may represent monitoring activities by civilizations participating in Earth's protection. Recent declassification of military UFO encounters has provided additional evidence supporting the monitoring hypothesis. U.S. Navy pilots have recorded multiple encounters with objects showing capabilities that violate known physics, including instantaneous acceleration, transmedium travel between air and water, and apparent gravity control. These encounters increased dramatically as human civilization approached nuclear weapons development in the 1940s. The timing of UFO encounter increases correlates precisely with human technological milestones that might concern advanced civilizations monitoring Earth's development. Nuclear weapons testing, space program developments, and advances in artificial intelligence all correspond to spikes in reported anomalous encounters. The pattern suggests that monitoring activities intensify when human civilization approaches potentially dangerous technological thresholds. An analysis of UFO encounter reports reveals that observed objects rarely demonstrate overtly hostile actions. Most encounters involve apparent observation or monitoring behavior, rather than attacks or interference. This pattern supports the hypothesis that these visitors are enforcing protection protocols rather than preparing invasion or conquest. Some encounters appear designed to demonstrate technological superiority while avoiding actual confrontation. Objects regularly disable weapon systems, interfere with nuclear facilities, and pace military aircraft before departing without causing permanent damage. These demonstrations suggest messages intended to warn human civilization about the consequences of certain technological developments, while maintaining non-interference protocols. Encounters near nuclear facilities show particularly interesting patterns. Multiple military witnesses have reported UFOs hovering over nuclear weapons storage sites and missile silos while somehow disabling the weapon systems. In several documented cases, nuclear missiles were mysteriously switched to disabled status during UFO encounters, only to return to operational status after the objects departed. These nuclear facility encounters appear too targeted and systematic to represent random observation. The pattern suggests deliberate intervention to demonstrate that advanced civilizations possess capabilities to neutralize Earth's most powerful weapons. The message seems clear. Nuclear weapons pose no threat to civilizations monitoring Earth, and their use would trigger responses that human technology cannot counter. The protection protocols appear designed to prevent not just alien invasion of Earth, but also prevent human civilization from spreading into space before achieving sufficient technological and cultural maturity. This interpretation explains why the solar system contains so many protective barriers and monitoring systems. The barriers work both ways, protecting Earth from external threats while constraining human expansion until we prove capable of responsible participation in galactic civilization. Evidence for these containment protocols appears in the mysterious failures and setbacks that have plagued human space exploration efforts. Multiple Mars missions have failed under circumstances that suggest possible intervention rather than technical malfunctions. Spacecraft have lost contact, experienced unexplained anomalies, or failed to achieve mission objectives at rates that seem statistically improbable.